Hi, my name is Alex Boniface. I was born in East Africa, Tanzania. So it's located on the east side of Africa, and it's near South Sudan, Kenya, Uganda, Rwanda, and Burundi. And I grew up there with lots of siblings, and I had a mom and dad, but my mom and dad, they separated.
Tell us more about your family and what it was like, what you remember.
Okay, so living back in Africa, I remember that my dad used to build houses and stuff, and so we were kind of rich back in Africa. We had all sorts of things, and I remember that when it was time to wash clothes, we'd go down to this certain spot with water where we can wash our clothes. And Africa is very hot, but they have a lot of places with shade. So we used to hide underneath the shade so we wouldn't burn from the sun. And also it may seem hot, but like you get used to it. And so we'd walk there. Well, see, in Africa, there's like a lot of films on America. So we view it and we see it as the American dream. That's all we dreamed about in Africa. We see in America as this great place where you can make money, live a great life. But you know, when you come to America, that's a different story. But
that's what you
yeah,
that was the idea that you had,
yeah,
and your family had.
To live a better life, because back then in Africa there were wars going on. It was like political wars, different tribes fighting for each land and stuff. So we wanted to move over to America.
Can you tell us any more about that and how that affected you and your family, people you knew, your mom and your dad?
Yeah, because they had forced us to move out of Africa, and like I'm kind of still traumatized till that day because one night they just came to attack us while I was sleeping, and so we had to migrate and move over. And so that time we were all running away from, and they like had guns and everything. They're really coming to kill us and take over. So
who's they? Can you clarify who's they?
It's like a group. I don't know what you call it because it's been so long, but it was like a tribe, a different tribe coming to take over.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Take over your village?
Yeah.
And you had to move?
Yeah, we had to move, yeah.
And it was nighttime?
Yeah, it was nighttime, and so like we went over to the cops and we told them about this situation. So they just had us sleep at a church for that night. And then after that, I think my parents decided that they wanted to move to America. So we had to figure out who were going to America, because we didn't all come as a family, because I have a big family. So you had to have like certain amount of people. So we had a movie theater in Africa, and so sometimes I would sneak into the movies with me and my brothers, and we would see movies about America and everything.
Back to that night when the soldiers came, or the guys with guns came from another tribe, like, did you have to gather up your stuff that night and not go back to that same place, or could you leave and then go?
We just left everything behind. We only cared about our lives.
You left everything behind?
Yeah, we had to.
cared about your life?
Yeah.
So it was your mom and 6 children?
Yeah.
That migrated? Okay.
Yeah. So she had to take care of all of us. She was like sort of our mom and dad, because she had to carry all the burdens by herself. There was just wars going on, and we just wanted to live a better lifestyle, and that was the only way. And at that time, that was the best time to get into the United States, because getting into the United States as an immigrant, it's not really easy.
Yeah. Can you tell us more about that? Why it was easier at that time to get in? And also, what year was that?
I don't know much, but it was back in 2004.
Okay.
Well, 2004 is when I arrived in America, but it was just easier back then.
Mm-hmm.
How old are you now?
I'm 22.
So you were about 6?
Yeah. I was 6 when I came to the United States.
Do you remember what kind of barriers your family encountered when they arrived?
Yeah, there was the communication barrier, but we had a translator that would translate to us and help us get our paperwork and all that. And also, when we moved to America, we didn't live on ourselves. We lived with other immigrants.
Who provided the translator?
I think it was the government.
The government did?
Yeah, the government. Yeah, they did all the work.
That was a big help?
Yeah, for sure, yep.
Did you speak English at that time?
No, but it didn't take me long to learn English, because I was still young. You know, when you're young, you learn things much quicker.
Yeah. And what language do you speak?
I speak Kirundi and some Swahili, and then English, of course. So 3 languages.
Yeah.
2.5. Yeah.
Um, did your mom speak any English?
No, she didn't learn any English because she's so much older. But
Yeah.
like, she's always had translator, and my oldest brother would do the translating.
And where's your mom and your brothers now?
They're located all over the place, but my mom is in Iowa. My brother and sister are in Iowa, the oldest one. So when we moved to America, we first arrived in Manchester, New Hampshire. That's where we lived there for a couple of years and learned English and all of that.
And that was with other refugees, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And then, so why did some of your family move to Iowa? Like, what was the opportunity there?
Okay, so we first moved to Rock Island, Illinois, and we moved over there because my brother had went over there to check it out. He told my mom that there's more Africans, people like us in this state, and that you should move over. And it was also better, you know, just to see a different lifestyle.
In Illinois?
Yeah.
And then they eventually decided to go to Iowa?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know if your older siblings have faced any barriers with employment?
Employment?
Yeah.
No, not really, because we know English now. We've been here for a long time.
17 years, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about your education in this country?
Okay, so when I came to America as a kid, I started in kindergarten, and I worked my way through high school and graduated high school back in 2016. And I got my high school diploma, of course. Then I went to college, and I did like 1 semester, and then I realized for me, and the things with Africans, education is really important to us. So the reason why we moved to America is to get a better education.
Did you run into any sort of issues with trying to get funding for your education?
I did at first, but like I got some help through like the government and stuff, and certain people were just very helpful, you know, because the community, yeah, they helped us out a lot, and like they paid for the schools.
Must have been like elementary school at that time, right?
Yeah.
And what was the experience like?
Yeah, the experience was wild because like I didn't speak English at all, so there was that communication barrier. But I had a cousin with me, so me and her would speak Kirundi to each other and communicate through that way. And it was just so hard to pay attention because the teacher would speak to you and you wouldn't know what she was saying. Yeah. So it was tough in the beginning, but then we picked it up and got the hang of it.
And what about with the other kids? Like, you know, American kids?
I got along well with them. You know, eventually I started to learn English, and they were all just cool back in the day.
Cool.
Yeah.
Have you experienced any policies, like are there any specific policies that stand out to you that hindered your progress sort of into what you ideally wanted to become as an American?
No, not really. All I know is just there's just like high standards, and like to become an American, you know, you gotta not get into illegal trouble, and also you gotta get your passport.
Did you have any issues getting a passport?
No, not really, because I had been in America for a couple of years, so I had like I was able to get it.
What was the process like for you and your family to become a citizen? It was a long process, right?
It was a long process because, you know, you have to live in a certain country for an amount of years to get your passport. So we had to wait it out. And my mom was the first to get her passport, but she got it before I turned 18, because if you're under the age of 18, if she got a passport, then you'd be considered a citizen.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I had to get it on my own afterwards. So she had a translator to help her study for the questions and help her take the test.
Were you ever afraid of, or your family was afraid of, like, getting sent back?
No, not really, because the way we got in and the way that government helped us, it seemed good to them, and we never had any like illegal issues or any of that.
So you weren't worried in that way.
No.
You went through the process and you were there and going through
Yeah.
the process going
Yeah.
forward.
Especially when you
It's a
have
big
your
relief.
citizen, you don't have to worry about
Yeah.
a good run with it. It didn't because as long as your green card hasn't expired, then you're okay. But if it expires, you gotta try to renew it, and that could sometimes be hard.
How long do you have a valid green card for before it expires?
I don't know that because my mom had it, but all I know, mine hasn't expired, and now I got my citizen.
Was there anyone that helped you practice for your citizenship?
Yes. So like, cause it was back in like 2017,
Yeah.
and back then I had just moved from Iowa to Vermont, so it was like an all new start. So I didn't really have the confidence or like the knowledge to know certain things. So I met a certain friend named Adam, and he's interviewing me right now. But
Oh man.
I feel comfortable because I now been in America for so long that I understand like what goes around in America.
Have you ever had any issues with access to healthcare?
Healthcare, no, not really, because it all went through the government. So the government assistance was really crucial.
Medicaid.
Yeah.
Okay.
Medicaid.
Yep.
Very
And,
good.
and you didn't have any issues?
No
getting
issues.
access to that?
Nope.
What did it feel like when you were finally a citizen? Did it feel different?
Yeah, it felt different. It felt great. It felt like I was safe because I was like an actual American citizen.
Yeah.
Because it's not the same when you just have your green card.
Right.
Yeah.
You also have rights. You gain your rights to like vote and other
Yeah.
things in the States. It feels great. It feels great.
Are you employed?
Yes, I am.
What do you do?
I'm a truck driver for a company called Crete, located in Nebraska. I've been doing trucking for 2 years now. I just got my 2 years of experience.
Is that a significant thing?
Yeah, it's
In the
very
industry?
big. Yeah.
Yeah.
I plan to build up my experience and then one day save up and buy my own truck and then work under a company for a couple months, and then I plan to start my own business with probably my brother. And then once I do that, I'll probably start helping out my family more in the community.
Do you have any intention of visiting? Did your father stay back in Africa?
So my dad is he moved with our other family in Australia. He's out in Australia, yeah. And I also plan to visit Africa. I want to go back there next year, and I want to learn more of my culture because I'm becoming more American, which is no offense to that, but it's always good to know your culture and your background and where you come from.
No offense taken. I think
Okay.
that that's absolutely commendable, and you feel like you can go back without any fear of returning.
I don't know, because Africa is like a different it's a different community, it's a different lifestyle, but I think they would welcome me there. I just gotta be careful because the way we're viewed in Africa, they think like we're rich out here, but really we're not. Because there's like the money currency, like compared to Africa and America. Like let's say if you have 1,000 in America and you take that to Africa, you have like 10,000. So the Africans would think you're rich.
And what would that mean for you?
That'd probably be a bad idea because we live in a cold world. They'll probably try to rob you or try to get money out of you.
Where's your mom from?
My mom, she's from Burundi. So they when I was born, before I was born, they migrated over to Tanzania, which is all on the east coast of Africa.
Burundi is a place that has experienced hardship and violence as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most of Africa, yeah, all of
Yeah, of
Africa,
course.
matter of fact.
Yeah.
Yeah, so people would migrate to different states, I guess, what you call it.
Different countries. So she went from one country to another and then decided to change continents altogether.
Yeah.
When her children were in danger, right?
Yeah, because they care about their children the most. They want
course.
them to live a good lifestyles.
Do you feel racism here?
Yes, you can definitely feel it depending where you are, and sometimes you might be at the wrong place at the wrong time.
Tell us more about that.
So like just some places you would go and then the Americans will look at you differently, or they would treat you in other ways compared to like their own people, because you know, even though we're a citizen, they still see us as immigrants.
Suspicion. There's suspicion.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they still view us as like we're still outside of the. We still don't belong here. They'll probably think I'm a criminal because you know I'm foreign, and you know just the view on my type of skin color is we're just viewed differently as like violent people, but in reality, we're all the same. We all bleed the same.
Is there anything that you would like for us to know or to add to this interview?
It's just to get you guys to continue supporting like immigrants from other countries because they're also trying to live a better life, and because where they live it's not the same, and like you guys just to keep supporting them because a lot of people do support immigrants and they help them get their rights.
How did your perception of the United States change?
So you know when you're from the outside, like if I'm living in Africa and I see America on TV, it looks all good. But then when you have arrived in America, you realize it's not the same, and then reality hit you.
How is it not the same? Harder?
Yeah, because America is much harder, especially if you don't have the knowledge. And you also got to be careful because certain things can get you into trouble.
Can you name those? Like, just a couple of examples.
Like getting into illegal trouble, hanging out with the wrong crowd.
Do you feel like you're held to a different standard than
Yes.
your white counterparts? Yes.
Yes, I am for sure. That's true.
And do you feel sometimes like you might rather be back home in Africa, or is it still something that you're like it's worth it to you still to be here and to be dealing with some of those?
It's still worth it because at the end of the day, all the countries have their own issues, and so I lived in America for a long time, and I adapted to my circumstances, and I realized there's good and bad in every country, everywhere you live. So it just depends on what you want. But I really like it here a lot because there's much more freedom. I forgot to mention that like America has a different type of freedom compared to other states or countries.
What states do you drive through?
Huh?
What states do you drive through?
All the states. I have like 3 more states: Oregon, Idaho, and Montana.
Okay.
But I've been through most of the United States.
Those are some good ones to visit.
Yeah.
Nice. And so, do you feel like you can make a career that will provide? You will have a career that will provide for a family eventually, and you can grow wealth here.
Oh yes, for sure. Because there's money to be made in the trucking industry, and that's why some people move to America because they have more opportunities. It is called the land of opportunities compared to other places, and so I definitely would be able to make a career out of it.
Alex, thank you so much. This has been really
definitely.
so wonderful for both of us, and really nice to talk to you, and thank you for sharing your experience with us.
No problem.
Thanks so much, man.